Jerry Jones just straight up threw the coaching staff under the bus, and he did it on Tuesday's interview with 105.3 The Fan. It was the first interview with Jerry Jones in that radio station since he threatened basically their jobs last week when he told them that he would get somebody else to ask the questions. And we all tuned in because we were expecting that maybe there was going to be some sort of apology from Jerry Jones. Maybe there was going to be some sort of take back from the Cowboys owner. That didn't really happen. And as I said last week, shout out to Chan Sheriff, shout out to RJ Shoppy, shout out to Bobby Belt. They have been handling that situation with nothing but class. They're great at what they do, and we saw another example of it yet today as they interviewed Jerry Jones, basically as if nothing had happened, honestly. First question was about whether or not he thought he needed to say anything. Jerry Jones didn't offer an apology or anything like that. That's when the conversation immediately really got interesting because Jerry Jones, he started talking about basically the reason why he got fired up last week and basically it being his vision of what the space should be like when he goes on the radio. And he basically told them, hey, I'm giving you a privilege just by being on this darn show in the first place. That was basically the message from Jerry Jones. And by himself, no one had even mentioned Derrick Henry, who went off once again versus the Tampa Bay Bucks last night. So maybe that's why it was on Jerry's mind in the first place. But he started talking about Derrick Henry, and he started talking about, hey, listen, if Derrick Henry was in Dallas, he wouldn't be having the season that he's been having with Baltimore. Which, to his point, it's pretty accurate. Like, that is true. Henry might be looking good with Dallas because he's that good, but he wouldn't be having the season that he's having with the Ravens, where the threat of Lamar Jackson taking off and running exists, where the fullback is pretty darn good and he's used as a very versatile fullback, where the receivers block as if they were tight ends, with two tight ends that can be as dangerous as receivers as they can be as blockers. So Jerry Jones was basically trying to convey that message. But interestingly, he also said, and I'll give you the full quote, this is where the coaching staff under the bus thing comes in. He said this: the types of things, because he's saying that, hey, we shouldn't care about the Henry thing. He said the types of things that we all think we should be looking at is, well, we are designing bad plays. We are designing bad concepts. The facts are there's some of that, but there's also some of execution, some of the talent, and he added that he liked the talent. He said, I liked our talent, but young talent has a few more mistakes associated with it than if you're dealing with a veteran player. I'll dive into that later because I think that's where Jerry Jones slipped. So stay with me. First and foremost, Jerry was giving a sort of all encompassing overview of what he sees on the team right now. But man, straight up saying that your coaching staff is designing bad plays and that it is designing bad concepts, that is big for Jerry Jones to say. I don't want to make it seem like, oh, Mike McCarthy is out of here, he is being fired. But it really is another example of how frustrated the Cowboys owner is at this point. And it only fits into the narrative of, if this keeps going, if the bad results keep going on the field, McCarthy might not make it through the entire season. I lean towards believing that he will, just because I don't know what the alternative is. If you're firing Mike McCarthy mid-season, does that mean you are promoting who exactly? John Fassel? Are you moving Brian Schottenheimer, who you would be making the play caller likely, and you also would be making him the head coach at the same time? Doesn't seem viable to me. Chances are it would be Schottenheimer as the play caller and then John Fassel as the head coach, or maybe Al Harris, who basically would be first in line because he's the assistant head coach. Mike Zimmer is not getting the head coach gig. He has enough to worry about getting the players lined up in the right gap in the first place. So, man, I just think right now the frustration is still very. And I think Jerry making that statement about the coaching staff helps no one. I also think this is Jerry Jones, so we got to be used to it by now, where we're talking about his comments, even though we know he doesn't mean the things he says half the time. But it kind of seemed to me that he doesn't need a scapegoat because no one is going to fire Jerry Jones, but he's basically using the coaching staff as a scapegoat, right? He's saying, hey, we really shouldn't be worried about who we brought in here. We should be worried about the fact that there's bad concepts being thrown around out there on the field. Where I think Jerry's lived, though, is he says there's some on the execution, right? Some bad comes out of the execution. He says some of it is talent. Now, he says, I like our talent, but young talent has a few more mistakes associated with it than you're dealing with a veteran player. I think this is where Jerry slipped, because I think this sounds like an admission to talent being a problem on the team. And although he caught it at least enough to be like, well, I like the talent, it just happens to be young, but that is by design. When you are the least spending team in the NFL in free agency, and you're talking about how some of the problems on your team are because of talent, because you only have young players, and young players might be good, but they may. That is on you, because the veterans that you brought in for the season from the outside are basically limited to Eric Kendricks and Ezekiel Elliott. Those are the outside free agents that the Cowboys decided to bring in. That's where it stops. And that's where we get into the conversation again of the whole draft and develop thing. It works in theory, it makes sense in theory, but it doesn't work if you're not complementing it with the right free agency strategy. Now, that doesn't mean go out there and get, that doesn't mean go out there and get Derrick Henry. You can go out there and get a veteran running back that is not going to be as expensive. You can avoid the big-time blockbuster signings and still do better than just Eric Kendricks and Ezekiel Elliott, for whom you spend what, like a combined $5 million, I believe, minus the incentives from Sick, who he's obviously not going to make. It's just bad right now. And I think that even Jerry knows that the talent is a problem. He just fails to acknowledge that that is on him. That the fact that he fought with the radio host last week began the moment he was asked about being so passive in the offseason. That's when he got defensive. And immediately a week later, he's not backtracking, but he's making it about the play designs, and he's making it about the talent and the execution. This is the same owner that is telling you after the games that he likes the coaching staff, that he likes the players. But now, since the focus is being set to his decisions in the offseason, now he's throwing people under the bus. That's what it sounds like to me. And man, you know what? Sometimes I get tired of talking about some of these, kind of like narratives where you're talking about the players and you're talking about the owners, about the coaching staff and what the owner said, what he didn't say. But it's important. Like, I don't think we can gloss over it. I don't think we get to ignore it, basically. But it is Tuesday, and the Cowboys play the 49ers on Wednesday, and it will be a big Wednesday. Now, it is Tuesday, and I would love to see the Cowboys make a gamble on some of these players that are out there available. I would love to see them make a gamble on Nick Chubb from the Cleveland Browns, on Travis Etienne, as we talked about earlier in the week. It seems to me that the Cowboys, they maybe should decide to be sellers, but if they're into this season, gotta go buy something. Gotta go get a running back. Gotta go get a defensive tackle. And maybe this is the best way for Jerry Jones to quiet the critics, if he goes out there and makes the right type of gamble. But speaking of gambles, if you're into poker, man, you better join the premier poker experience over at Texas Card House, where the thrill of the game meets the excitement of the community. If you play poker, you know how important community is. You can visit any of their 6 locations in Texas, highlighting the Dallas and Las Colinas venues. Texas Card House offers a unique blend of luxury, sophistication, and camaraderie for poker aficionados. Whether you are a seasoned pro, you know maybe about positions on the table, you know about how you play a card different when you're at the dealer's seat or where you are next to the dealer, or you're just starting out, maybe you're learning what a full house is, what a straight flush is. Join a welcoming community at a top-notch facility located near you. And let me tell you something. At Texas Card House, Tuesdays, today, they're special because it's $2 Tuesday. You can get draft beers for $2. And if you cannot make it on Tuesday, check out the Lowball Happy Hour every day from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. You know I love poker, so I love talking about our friends over at Texas Card House. Check them out. Link is in the description below as well in case you want to check that out too. But for now, it is up to the Cowboys to make their own gamble. Got to go get a player. That is the one way I could see Jerry Jones quieting these criticisms. So far, though, not doing a great job at it. We'll see how that ends up working out for Dallas. But for now, thank you for joining Primetime once again on the road. I'm watching the game this Sunday, by the way, 49ers Cowboys. I'm watching it live at Levi Stadium. So hope to bring the Cowboys some good luck there. Hit the like button, man, if you enjoy the content, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.